Have Manchester United finished spending in this summer's transfer window, with the focus now shifting to getting rid of the bomb squad? But most importantly, do you feel that Rúben Amorim has already been backed in this summer's transfer window? We want to know your thoughts and opinions today, so get involved in the chat and we'll discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. Kick us off first. Go on.
Well, I go back to the end of the season, the disappointing Europa League, no Champions League, and I say to myself, Rúben Amorim has had more money spent on him than I could imagine at that time. 200 million, way more than I thought Manchester United had. We was bottom, we was rubbish, we was the worst season, you name it, everything was bad. 200 million pounds spent. I did not see that coming, and I think he has been well backed.
Not at the bottom, but not far off it, finishing 15th place, going into the summer transfer window. Did you expect this amount of money to be spent, though, on getting players in, what we have done up to now?
I didn't. I thought we'd struggle. I thought when they looked at Delap, £30 million, I thought a striker, 2 more players. I didn't see it rising to 200 million, but they've spent it. And you've got to say, Rúben Amorim has been backed. He's got the players in he wanted, and it's goal scorers we wanted. You reminded me before, only 44 goals we scored. These 3 players have scored more goals than that. And you've got to remember, Rúben Amorim, his job was to turn these players round and get them playing as a squad, as a team, and fighting for this club. And I've seen with my own eyes, that's what he's doing. These players are good enough to carry on. It's a rebuild. That's how I see it. And spending £200 million in the situation we are, and it has been explained to us by the men in suits how dire this football club was in when they took over.
A lot of early comments getting involved, and the majority of them, I'd say at least 90%, are all agreeing that up to now, Rúben Amorim has been backed in this summer's transfer window. And you've got to look at it yourself as well, and some people might point it out. Maybe we might have got that extra player, maybe 2 players, if we would have qualified for Europe this season, the Champions League. What do you think?
Well, Rúben Amorim said, 3 players, and if Champions League was there, then possibly we could have got another player. But that's only 1 player he's talking about. So it wouldn't have made a massive difference. Obviously, we went for a Belieber.
It might have made a massive difference if it would have been Belieber, though.
Well, that's the difference where it would have made. United's offer to Brighton was way short of what they were demanding. So if we'd have had Champions League, that might have tipped it over the edge. But we didn't get Champions League. So you have to say, with what we've got, they've gone right to the limit and spent it. And I just look at it and think to myself, Rúben Amorim has a good squad. We've seen it. So for me, spending that amount of money for a team what finished 15th and his skin and everything about the club was on its knees, for me, it's a big plus spending 200 million. Any manager who gets 200 million spent on him should be happy and has no complaints whatsoever. And I think Rúben Amorim, the plan was sorted at the end of the season and he's happy. I'm happy with what I've seen at the moment, especially in pre-season, especially the way the players adapted. It will get better. I thought they were okay against Arsenal. So for me, everything is going in the right direction. No more signings as far as I'm concerned. We need players out.
I'm still hopeful, I've got to be honest with you. I don't know if I've got my rose-tinted glasses on, but I do genuinely think we might get 1 more player in this window. But I think we've got to hurry up and shift the likes of Garnacho out. And Rasmus Højlund, to me, looks surplus to requirements under Rúben Amorim. I think if them 2 players can get shifted out in the next 7 days or so, I think United will look to reinforce maybe the midfield area or possibly a goalkeeper. I really do.
I don't think any money's coming in here, and if it does, it'll only come on the last day, and that will not leave United, well, especially Rúben Amorim, the opportunity to go out there and get the player he wants. If you look at Garnacho, that might go to the wire. So for me, Sancho's no money, Antony's no money, there's no money coming in. I am adamant and I have been adamant for a long time, we will get 3 players in, and we've got them, and I don't see anyone else coming in. These players need to be shifted. They should have been shifted 2 months ago. I did say it, and I think somebody inside the club who's responsible for it, the pressure's on him. He's not done his job. There is no more money coming in because we're not getting anything for these players.
When you talk about and use terms like, has Rúben Amorim been backed in this summer's transfer window, can you also label that as well with how the club have dealt with the bomb squad, isolating them away from the actual main group of players?
He's been fully backed. He's been in discussions with the men in suits, saying what he wants, what he doesn't want. And I think the suits also know who's not needed at this club. So for them to turn around and say, right, you 5 players, the bomb squad, as it's called, you're out of this club, go and sort yourself a club out. The rules were set. It was quite clear where they were going. The plan was set. So for me, it was the right thing to do. But unfortunately, the previous regime under Woodward, even Richard Arnold, these contracts, everything else like that, are a hindrance to going forward quickly. So for me, these players are playing the game now, and I mean playing the game. They're shoving it up, Man United. They're selfish. That's how a lot of people are talking about them. They're not interested in playing for the football. They want to go, I want this, I want that. Well, listen, in life, you don't always get what you want. So you have to change your opinions. You have to adapt. These players aren't prepared to do that because of the previous regime, the way they've been dealt with. And these contracts are hindering Rúben Amorim and the club going forward. And there is a few more players on contracts.
You don't always get what you want. You definitely don't always get what you want on your Christmas card list. But a lot of people out there might suggest that, the bomb squad, it's the easy part, isolating and moving them away from the main squad. But we've not seen any of them leave as of yet on permanent transfers, which could have been reinvested into the squad to get that extra player or two, surely. So has he been backed in that sense?
He's been backed, that they've been isolated, because what he's done then, he's been able to deal with the culture of the club, change what's going on in the background. He's set the rules and everything. And these players, they had to be moved out, and everyone else in the club had to understand it's my way or the highway. And everyone in the club has knuckled down to it and got on with it. The culture has changed. So it's not just he's been backed with £200 million. He's been backed in how he's operating inside the club, running this squad, and he's getting everything given to him. So for me, you've got to look at it next summer. You move on, you get more players in, and then you just see how this squad does. And I think he's got a reasonable squad here, what will do well.
Do you think the club may be some positive PR that all clubs do? And we've been accustomed to, let's face it, at Man United over the years, when the transfer window does close, they might also point back to January with him signing Dorgu and Aiden Heaven. You look at Dorgu, only a young lad, but it's clearly the first choice on that left-hand side in the wing-back spot.
Yeah, they brought Dorgu in and Aiden Heaven, but you've got to sort of say it's a slow start, and even spending £200 million, it's a slow start. There's going to be a full turnover in the next 18 months of players inside this club. You've got to remember, he has to be given the chance to bring in his own players and play the football he wants. I just look at it and I say to myself, sell to buy, sell to buy. Even if we'd have sold all these players, I don't think we'd have got more than one more player in anyway, to be honest with you.
It also did come out just after we actually signed Šeško. I think it was a report in The Athletic that the revolving credit facility, I think it was around about the 4th or the 5th of July, had been extended so they could dip into that if needed for transfers. Do you think they extended that as early as they did do in July because they got a sense that the bomb squad, it was going to be very hard to shift any of them out to recoup any transfers? So in a sense, they've gone out there and backed Rúben Amorim without actually recouping any money in.
No, I think what it is, they looked at it because I see the price of Delap, £30 million. They knew the price, what they might have to pay for Cunha and Mbeumo. So they knew they had to dip into that to get the extra money to get Šeško. Now, I look at it and I look at Belieber and I think to myself, right, there's the extra money, what they were hoping to get from the bomb squad. That would have helped And then if we'd have just sold them players, we'd have had the money. Because if we'd have got Delap, there's the extra money. But we ended up paying it on Šeško. So for me, 3 players, a 4th player was there, available, but the money hasn't come in. And I think the club have realised that now, and they're just concentrating on getting these players out. And I think the best they can do, to be honest with you, is just loan deals.
Just going into the chat, love the nature, so do I. We should be okay. It's just 1 game a week. What do you think Ruben Amorim honestly thinks, though? Do you think deep down he knows he's been backed and he's actually quietly confident or positive, like, you know, going forward? Because I've got a bit of a... Where is it now? There it is. Ruben Amorim, this was post-match after the Arsenal game. We proved today that we can win any game in the Premier League. We were the better team against a great team like Arsenal. So if you do remember that actual post-match press conference, he was quite lively in there and he was confident in backing his players, particularly the goalkeepers as well.
Yeah, he's backed the goalkeepers. He's backed his players. That's what you want. He knows what he's got. He knew he was going to have them 3 goalkeepers. I've always said, other people have said, a lot of people doubted that Onana would be staying, that he'd be sold. But he's here. He's backing him. To be honest with you, I don't think it could have been made any clearer how this transfer window was going to go. I think Ratcliffe, I think the men in suits, I think Ruben Amorim explained to you early in June, late May, to be honest with you, what was going to happen. And it's gone exactly how they said it would. So for me, I'm happy with what we've got because it is 1 step at a time. And I think if they'd have rushed in and I think they would have been silly diving in and paying what Brighton wanted for that money, because it just heaped more debt on the club in the credit facility. However you see it as, for me, let's just stick with what we got. He's got a small squad. I see it as a small squad. And our problem has always been we've had a big squad. It's been bloated, full of overpaid players and that. And what we've got here now, we've got players what want to play for Manchester United. And some of these players we've been highly critical of, but they've changed their attitude. And their attitudes changed because people in that bomb squad were a problem.
A negative influence, and it does look like that's shifted away out of there. You've seen the likes of Luke Shaw giving it. There's no more stragglers in this squad, but I think a lot of people have been happy to see the intensity as well from the players, especially against the Arsenal game, going forward, looking a lot more positive than what we were doing last season. But we need to keep that up as well.
Oh, listen, every game's going to be Titanic, to be honest with you. It's going to be massive. Absolutely. You know, you look at the 2 games coming up. I said it the other day. We have to win them, okay? Early doors, the momentum, the full up to speed and all that won't be there. We've seen that on Sunday with both sides. So for me, we've got to get 6 points. And I don't care how we get them 6 points. If they have 30 shots and we only have 1 and win 1-0, I'll be happy with that. We've got to get points on the board early doors and winning them. I don't care how we do it. These players will fight. You can see that. And that's what I like about it. Everything's changed.
I think the way Ruben Amorim defended Bayindir after the Arsenal game and defended Andre Onana and Heaton as well, to me, that's clear that Manchester United are going with them 3 goalkeepers into the season, and I don't think they'll be looking to buy a goalkeeper in this transfer window. So he's defending his players, and that's quite right to do so.
Yeah, he's defending his players, and he knows, and he's known for a long time, them 3 players with the 3 goalkeepers he's going to have. Heaton got an extra year. Onana wasn't going anywhere. He was injured. They took him on the pre-season. They brought him back. He had a few days training last week, and he'll have trained all this week. And it's clear that he's going to be in goal at Fulham, and he's the #1 goalkeeper. Whether he wanted to keep him or whether he wanted him to sell, there was no option but to keep Onana, in my opinion. Okay, 1 more year. That's what they're going to do with him. Other managers have got rid of goalkeepers a lot quicker. But for Man United, in the position they're in, they can't just get rid and lose that amount of money on Onana and then go spend big. And that's the problem. We've just spent 200 million. There was no opportunity to spend big.
Marcus Stevenson says, people who think Amorim will be gone by Christmas are blind to the process.
I think a lot of people are going to get a shock, and I think they got a shock over the pre-season and the Arsenal game, how this team has quickly changed. The eye test, that's what you go on. And the eye test, lots of United fans are changing their opinion. There's some obviously will not, but you can see, and we demanded change, and we can see it. We see it with Maguire, we see it with Luke Shaw. There is effort. People are now behind the manager and understanding what he wants. It's not rosy. It will be tough, but it will get better. So for me, a lot of people's opinions, right, about Ruben Amorim have changed, but there were some people out there who will not change their mind regardless. And I like a game of football, and I like to see improvement, and I'm seeing improvement.
And it's definitely improvement when you look on last season's team sheets, the majority of weeks, when you've got Højlund up front, you've got Rashford and Garnacho in behind as well. And now that's changed with the likes of Šeško, Cunha and Mbeumo, all goal scorers like you've mentioned before, and create goals as well.
Well, I'm sure there was a front three last year of Garnacho, Rashford and Anthony. They're not there anymore. They are not there anymore. And them three players epitomise what's gone on in Manchester United for a long time, and that's attitude and everything surrounding the shirt. They have disrespected the shirt in one way or another. Not all as bad as each other, but they have disrespected it. That was our attack, and what a selfish attack. Looking at it right now, that was each individual player refused to cross, refused to do this, refused to work, refused to run. We hope there was improvement in Garnacho. There hasn't been. And for a man to turn down, which he has done, Garnacho, he's just turned down an opportunity to move to Bayern Munich because he is sticking like a young lad does, right, sometimes. No, that's what I want. I want Chelsea. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, right?
Bayern Munich, one of the top clubs in Europe.
You don't turn down Bayern Munich, okay? He is waiting. Garnacho is a fool as far as I'm concerned. If he's relying on the word of a football club official, don't worry, son, we'll get you to Chelsea. And they're playing games. United want 50 million. They want 50 million for him. Chelsea, by the sounds of it, are offering 25 million. And Garnacho thinks he's going to Chelsea. United won't sell him. They will keep him. They will possibly try and get rid of him in January. And with one or two other players, they might do the same, okay? They will not be had over. Chelsea are having us over, and they will not stand for it, United. I can't see it. So for me, if he's relying on Chelsea to come in and take and give a bid of 25 million and think United are going to creep up to 30 million, absolutely not. So for me, absolute fool.
Derek, MUFC from our members club says, Amorim will bring the glory days again. Surely not every game will be glorious, but with time, more transfers, lads, I think we'll be okay. And I don't think any of us, realistically, were under the illusion that all the problems within the squad will be fixed in one summer transfer window.
No, all the problems aren't fixed. We know that. You know, when people are turning around and saying, we need a midfield player, we need a goalkeeper, we need this, it's not solved. How can it be solved? It was 15th. We've brought in three players who go forward and score goals. There's other positions. If we're going to challenge, we need top players in here, and it's going to take time. But it needs money, and we haven't got the money. But what we have, what money was there, we've been backed with more money than I thought possible, to be honest with you. I thought about 120 million was the maximum, with all the stories out there, that United had available to go and buy.
Derek MUFC from our members club has just gifted 5 memberships. Absolute legend. The 5 people who've been gifted their memberships, a big thank you to Derek. Do you still believe that Onana is Amorim's number 1?
He is the number 1.
Do you think he might not go with Bayindir in the next couple of games?
Onana is the number 1. Okay, there's no discussion about it. There's no ifs, buts, or whatever. Onana is the number 1. If he wasn't the number 1, he'd be out. That's how I see it. He'd be out.
Out is in what, like bomb squad?
Out of the club. He'd be out of the club. It'd have been put on the transfer market. You don't take a number one and then suddenly put him behind another goalkeeper and keep him. It's never been done. Out he goes. Goalkeepers want to play, just like most footballers, except somewhat, play for Man United.
Yeah, I don't think it's good, though, chopping and changing the goalkeeper, though, every single week. I know we've not got Europe midweek, etc., but he's got to stick with one of them.
He's got to stick with Onana. Onana's not been in because of the injury. He's getting up to match fitness. He's getting up to fitness, so we can put him in. I expect him in at Fulham. There'll be no chopping and changing. Absolutely not. He's going to be the number one. And even if he makes mistakes, he cannot afford to drop him. He has to keep him on the grind. That's what he has to do. And he has to make sure his confidence is up there if any mistakes come into his game. And I do believe he will improve. Will it be good enough? That's the thing. Will it be good enough? No, I don't think so. I think United have made many mistakes over the years when it comes to goalkeepers. They've not gone out there and got the best. And that's what should have happened. Onana was never the best. I thought he was an exciting goalkeeper. I thought he'd do well, but I never thought he was the number one goalkeeper out there. And that's what United should do. If they're going to target a centre forward, if they're going to target a goalkeeper, it has to be the number one.
Just going into the chat, Derek MUFC said he was spreading the positivity on a Wednesday. Thanks, my mate. Love the nature's back again. If we approach every game with the same intensity as we approach the Arsenal game, we will get a lot of points. Let's hope so, my mate. But it's a lot of positivity, like I say, around the fan base of what we actually did see in terms of intensity. A natural play. It wasn't boring play, like Amorim said after the game. It was attacking play. Something to get you up off your seat at some points.
Well, the thing is, you can clearly see, and I think the men in suits brought him in for that because of the intensity, the way they coach, and everything, all the training. And that's what was needed, the fitness. I think when you look at what was going on, they brought in fitness coaches, they brought in all the people, as they say, on the tippy-tappy, what check out on the computers, your energy, your running and everything, all the stats, right? They could clearly see things weren't right, and they brought the right people in, and the intensity has upped tremendously, to be honest with you, because for 90 minutes, them players were running around the pitch, and you've never seen that before. So the intensity's there. All we've got to do is just put that ball in the net, because we had plenty of opportunities against Arsenal on Sunday, and we never got it in the net.
Steph, thanks for keeping a tab on the likes and how many people are watching.
Thank you.
There's over 600 people, I think, watching. There's only 125 likes by my counting. Let's get them likes right up there. Let's get to at least 1,000 likes on this video, please. Simply Dread from our members club. When we get carved through the middle, everyone used to blame De Gea. Then his backside fell out. Onana needs to lose weight and practice like, I'm not going to say the end part, mate, but, you know, David De Gea, I mean, it was coming to the time for me where he did need moving on. It's just a matter of the goalkeeper to replace him, and the last 2 seasons hasn't been good enough, and that's the big mistake.
David De Gea got replaced because we wanted a goalkeeper who could play with the ball at his feet inside the penalty area. The problem with Onana is he can do that, right? But he's got nobody to give it to. The midfield hole right through it. We've seen it. We know it. I'm not going to go right deep into that midfield again, because we all know the problem with it. But what it was, if you look on the edge of the area, no midfield players came and asked for the ball because they were frightened to death of it. Now, go to Sunday's game, and that changed.
Yeah.
The midfield, the full-back were all in tune. So that style, that type of football from the back has completely changed. Now, stick Onana in there, and you've got to say to yourself, well, if he plays football with the ball at his feet, then he should be able to do that. So it's all there. The intensity, the calmness, and everything what needs to be done to bring the ball out is there. And Onana would have been part of that. So for me, I think he should have a better season, because the players want the ball. They're not frightened to death of coming and getting it, because they were. So the style, everything about it, with Onana there, should be better. And if it's not better, then Onana's to blame.
To be honest with you, I don't think Bayindir's footwork was that bad on Sunday. Some of the balls that he was giving out, I mean, some of it was just straight passes, and De Ligt, you would see drop closer to him, and then he'd put the ball out to Yoro on the right-hand side, and it was a clear tactic that's been worked on in the training ground. But I thought some of his balls into midfield, some of his long balls were okay generally, to be honest with you. I didn't have a problem with any of his footwork.
Yeah, for the second-string goalkeeper, Onana's a better goalkeeper.
No, I actually thought, no, I can't agree with that. I think Bayindir's footwork in his passing on Sunday was better than what I've seen from Andre Onana since he's walked through the door. I mean, some of Andre Onana's long balls, I don't think we was never getting close to him.
It's just panic kicking because no one wanted the ball. All he could do was kick the ball up, and that's what a lot of players were doing. Anyway, we'll see what happens with Onana, okay? But we all know we can't rely on Bayindir as the #1 goalkeeper because he's not world class. Simple as.
Fair enough. Richard James says that side they played against Arsenal will batter Fulham. I mean, what do you think with this Fulham game coming up? Do you think there is huge pressure on? I do.
There's huge pressure on every game. Even if we win the 2 games against Fulham and Burnley, there's pressure on every game. It's demanded. United have to finish in Champions League football. That's what the club are demanding. Like I say, spending £200 million, a lot more than I thought. Some clubs spend £200 million. You want Champions League football. So for me, I look at it, every game is going to be a battle, and they've got to keep the spirits up. They've got to keep fighting. Sometimes they will have to dig in, just like Arsenal digged in to take the 3 points. You're going to see that. But every game, my God, you're going to go to Old Trafford, you're going to go to away games and watch United, and you are going to demand a better performance from every player, because a lot of those players what are on that pitch have let us down for a couple of years and have not put it in. I want to see it in. Ruben Amorim is forcing it on them, and it looks as though they're up for the fight, and let's hope it continues. Anthony Jones has just subscribed to our members club. Much appreciated, my mate. You're looking at the back three. We discussed it after the game as well. I liked what I seen, especially from De Ligt. I thought he was a monster. Had Gyökeres in his back pocket. But all three of them, to be honest with Yoro, even Luke Shaw, there was a real confidence about him. But they also need that confidence from the goalkeeper as well, that he's going to be strong behind him. Well, I think they'll be confident, but what you have to look at their back three is how they stuck together, how they played. Okay, yes, some player can have a great game in that, and then he can have a poor game and whatever. But what it is, they were all in sync with each other. They were moving forward together. They all knew what they were doing. The only downside was the poor positioning for when they scored the goal at the back post. We've seen that before. But as a unit, they all knew what they were doing. They weren't like running around like headless chickens. Everything was from the goalie to the back three, to the midfield. It all worked. So for me, that's a good sign going forward. I would like to see against Fulham, Ahmad start over Delo on the right wing-back spot. But I'm also interested to see if he does start with Casemiro and Bruno again in that centre midfield area. Listen, you look at that right wing-back spot and you got to say to yourself, there is a problem, okay? And there's going to be a problem going forward, okay? You got Mazraoui, who plays in that position. You've got Delo, who he seems to put in there. Why? I don't know. Then you've got Ahmad. You've got three players for that position. So for me, I think you're going to see a problem down the line. You might even see a problem where there's a player who's not getting picked, who might start opening his mouth, which we've seen before. I hope not. I hope they stick together and take the chance when it comes. But there's three players there fighting for one spot. We know Mazraoui can play in... Mazraoui will alternate between Yoro. Right. I'm just saying that. He can play in Yoro's position. But you will not alternate. You cannot start alternating the back three. It has to be solid. Yeah. Obviously, there's a question mark when Martinez comes in, okay? There's always a question mark over Luke Shaw. But Yoro... stay in that position. That's what they work on. That's what they've been working on over summer. So there's three players for a right wing-back position, right, where there will be a problem soon.
A lot of you's getting involved throughout today's video. It's been popping off in there with your opinions on whether you think Ruben Amorim has been backed in this summer's transfer window and if you think there's any more signings to come. I did ask you in the live poll at the start of today's video, will MUFC make any more signings in this transfer window? 74% say yes, with 26% saying no. Really enjoyed today's conversation, having a bit of a chat about this summer's transfer window, and you don't finish.
No, I don't see where or how we can get another player if we can't purchase Belieber, okay, a player who we all know we wanted, right?
Well, that's 100 million though. That's a huge transfer fee, a huge transfer fee. I know they've extended the credit facility, etc., but I do believe they do need to balance the books up somewhere with no European football. And I do believe, maybe I'm just being red rose tinted glasses on, whatever you want to call it, but I think if Garnacho and Højlund get shifted out the door soon in the next 7 days, I think they will go and get a player for that midfield area. I think they'll leave the goalkeeping situation as it is, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's all about opinions and that, and for me, it's just a matter of trying to get rid of players what can't be got rid of, because I don't believe we'll get rid of him. There might be a last day thing with Garnacho, but let's wait and see. But the biggest fool at the moment is Garnacho turning down an approach from Bayern Munich. You do not turn that down, a young lad like that, and think that you can rely on someone at a football club saying, don't worry, we'll get you here.
Imagine if we do get Garnacho and Højlund out of the club, get a transfer fee for both of them, and then we end up seeing some sort of last day deal going in for Belieber again. I mean, would you rule that out right now in the transfer window? I wouldn't. But let us know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments section. Thanks for joining us today and getting involved as well. Support the channel by smashing that like button and get that notification on, because we will be back tomorrow with another live video. So come and join us and have a chat. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.